Oh, it's so salty. Hey guys, hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. Today we're gonna be eating spicy miso ramen with extra topping of dried seaweed. Sprinkle some of that on. On top we have slices of pork. Yume is spelled as a U-M-E. Like, almost like Yumi, or maybe it is pronounced as Yumi. Let me know if I pronounced it correctly. And this one, it looks like bamboo shoots. And we have little bits of scallion, chopped up, and ready to go, ready for action. And here we have a uncured pepperoni pizza, wood-fired Naples style. Picked it up from Trader Joe's. I can't even remember the last time I had pizza. It's a food that makes me feel sleepy, so that is why I usually don't order it at restaurants. So you might be wondering, it's kind of random. Why are you pairing ramen and pizza? They have something very deeply in common. They're foods that I've been really been wanting to eat. There's also mushrooms in here. Let me give you a close look. It's a slippery kind, like the texture of wood ear mushroom. Perhaps this is the wood ear mushroom. You know, there's so many varieties of mushroom. Glossy. Let's start off with a bite of ramen. Gonna loosen it up here. A bit of sliced pork snuck into that bite. My lips are covered in ramen chapstick. Because noodles can be time sensitive, what I did was, right when my ramen noodles were ready, I had a bite of it and then I packed it to go. Because I wanted to make sure I had an accurate experience. So it's been about 30 minutes since I picked these up, and I have to say, it's a little bit softer than when I tried it at the store. If you look closely, there are little specks of red. I believe that is what is making it spicy, but it's not too spicy at all. If the spice, you judge it by like a poke, it's not like a poke, it's like boom, you know? It's a light poke. Light, like a kitty poke. You know how cats' paws, when they touch you, it's like very soft? It's that kind of soft spiciness. Okay, let's see if the soup is spicier than the noodles. I gotta bring a spoon. Booty. Okay. If you look at the soup, see it has a, oops. Oh, why am I shaking? It has a bit of like a milky texture to it. You know, it looks almost like a Penang curry. You know, when you have some noodle soups, it has a clear taste. This one, it has more like a foggy taste. Whew, actually, I'm feeling more of, it's getting spicier. That cat paw, it's not as like cute anymore. It's like a cat paw slapping you gently in the face. That kind of spice. See, the flavor-wise of the soup, it's not very flavorful, but it just has a thickness to it. You know what really brings up the flavor a notch is the slices of pork. I see little bits of sesame seeds sprinkled on here. I picked this noodle up from Hokkaido Ramen, what was it called? Santuka? It's located inside the Japanese market called Mitsuwa. I went to Mitsuwa ever since I was like in 2nd grade. Yeah, I think it was 2nd grade. This place has over 2,500 reviews on Yelp. So I was like, you know what, I gotta try this out for myself. This actually comes in small, medium, and large. I got large, and that was $13. Let me verify. It's $13.50 US, and I got a couple pieces of dried seaweed. So a couple sheets of nori was 50 cents extra. It's not roasted with any salt or any oils. A couple pieces of yumi was also 50 cents additionally. So let's try yumi. It's a little bit bigger than the size of my thumbnail. It's a little bit more of like a more mature red than my nail. Whoa. Oh, it's so salty. And there's a seed in the middle. Super crunchy. Needless to say. Wow. That's salty. Oh, it would be nice if I cut these yume up in little pieces and then just mix it, and then every time I pick up some of the noodles and the ingredients, it'd be like a surprise. I wouldn't know when a piece of yume would get in my mouth, but when it does, it would be like that little oomph of crunch and saltiness. Let's try some of what I believe is to be bamboo shoots. I'm gonna call the people who work at this shop and find out for sure. Okay, well, it'll just have to be a little mystery then. But I'm pretty sure those are bamboo shoots. Let's try some Whittier mushroom. I'm going to be answering some of your questions today. Last week I answered your questions from Twitter. Today, I'm going to answer your questions that I got from my emails. So instead of just keeping it personal, I decided to share my answers to you publicly. Some of these questions I got, I know some of you have been wondering as well. So I think maybe you weren't even wondering, but you could still learn something from someone else's question. Just like how things are in school. Actually, I want to bite with a little bit of everything. Ooh, balancing act. Let's put a scallion on there. Oh, that's kind of cute. 360. The seed. Mushroom. Let me give you a synopsis. I am from the US and I'm half Thai, but I've never been to Thailand. But I'm so excited to eat. I'm wondering though, have you ever gotten food poisoning? Yes, I've gotten food poisoning in Thailand. Once in Chiang Mai. I don't know what it was I ate, because I ate so many different kinds of food, so it's hard for me to point at like what the exact culprit is. Before my travels though, I assumed I'm going to get food poisoning at least once. So I didn't get sad when I got food poisoning. I just pre-accepted it. And I would say, like, before you go travel anywhere, always pre-accept the fact that you might get food poisoning. It's just one of the pending consequences of trying different foods in the world. Because even if you try to play safe with food, you can't tell which one's gonna make you sick. Because sometimes people get sick from food at 5-star restaurants. It's not about how many dollar signs a dish has. It's about who prepared it. Just because someone makes $1 million a year doesn't mean they have the best hygiene. Someone who makes $50K per year might have better hygiene than the person who makes $1 million a year. Having a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean cleaner or better. You know, sometimes we take a certain quality and relate it to something else. So, for example, being a doctor is like being in a business that's supposed to help people. But there are doctors out there that are quacks, and they're just trying to make money off of people instead of actually helping them. So just because someone is a doctor doesn't always mean they're a good person. There might be a high chance, but it's not 100%. The more people I meet, the more I realize this, that just because someone is, like, you cannot define anyone by their job or their hobby. You know, everyone has their own other past experiences that affects the way they act today. So when I meet new people, I can appreciate that we have similar interests, or, you know, we have a similar line of thinking. But, you know, you just gotta remind yourself that you can change in the future, they can change in the future. And sometimes the best of friends are not the ones who have 100% common things with you. It's about the ones who are a little different, but you both accept each other for who you are. Back to the street food question. So the rest of the message says, I see that you follow some of the basic rules. For example, not eating fresh, uncooked greens. But I'm wondering your experience with the Thai street food. In the beginning, I was super careful about what kind of street food I'm eating. I avoided uncooked vegetables or anything uncooked. When you go to some countries, the street food scene is a little bit more regulated by the government, or it's more formal. So what I mean is, some street food vendors might have an actual stall or they go to every day without being pestered by any of the police or, you know, people who are looking for like licenses. But in Bangkok, anyone could pull up a little street food stall and cook. And at one of the Airbnb places I was staying at in Thailand, it was in a more local neighborhood. I was on the second or third floor of the building, and there was a bunch of street food stalls lined up on the street level. And I'll look down and just kind of observe, people watch, see what the street food vendors are up to and see what they're cooking today. And they had like this water coming out from the wall, and they would use that to clean their dishes and clean their vegetables and whatnot. Now, depending on which country you're from, your body may be used to the level of cleanliness of that water. So some people could say, oh, the water is dirty, but another way to put it is our bodies are not immune to whatever's in there. I gotta move over to the pizza sometime soon. So yeah, in the beginning I didn't eat much raw greens in Thailand, but the longer I stayed there, the more I started to get adventurous. saltier than before. Maybe the saltier parts went to the bottom, settled to the bottom of the bowl. Actually, I'm starting to get super full. Oh, I should have had some pizza when it was still like hot. So then when I pull the pizza apart, it's cheesy. Should I reheat it? Yes, no, maybe so. Yeah, let's reheat it. Look who's back! Mr. Pizza. I'm gonna be using my handy dandy coconut knife to cut this baby. Oh, that sound of crunchy. Oh, I probably should have cut it and then heated it up again. Then the cheese on the top would blend in together. It's all good. No problemo. Give you guys a close look. First slice. Those cheese almost looks like pimples, like whiteheads. And the cheese, well, it's not very cheesy. Like every time you bite into it and pull, it's not like the cheese is stretching. And of course, much of the saltiness comes from the pepperoni. Most of the flavor comes from the pepperoni and then from the tomato sauce. It's a simple pizza. Typically, if I eat 2 slices of pizza, it's enough for me. It's pretty filling. Next question. Hi, I'm very much interested in traveling to Korea, but I'm a single woman and I don't travel alone. I love the culture and everything about it. Would love to learn the language as well. Any suggestions? By the way, I love finding your face on your photos on Instagram. LOL. In Korea, I found it to be quite a safe place to walk around alone as a female. I don't recommend walking around late at night by yourself in Korea. I say the same thing for Los Angeles and San Francisco. However, Los Angeles and San Francisco, I see more homeless people there. So here's the thing about traveling alone. Whether you're a guy or a girl, people will judge you by how you look. It's like racial profiling. So although I was born and raised in America, and the way I think is quite American, yes, I grew up in the Korean household, but largely the way I think is American. So when I go to Korea, I look Korean, so people will treat me like I'm Korean. However, when I go to Europe, I look Asian, so they're gonna, most of the time, most cities I went to, they thought I was Chinese. When I was in Bali, everyone thought I was Japanese. So, see, the thing is, depending on which country you go to, the way you're viewed differs. Excuse me, that was a little burp. And because of the way you look, you will either blend in or you're gonna stick out. Highly recommend you don't draw attention to yourself. You never know who is watching you. There are people out there looking for opportunities to steal your stuff. Anywhere around the world. Of course, some countries it feels more higher the rate of theft than others. This looks like Pac-Man. Let me rotate it so it really does look like Pac-Man. When I was in Asia for 6 months, most of the time I was alone. First off, you need to be aware of what area you are in, which district of the city. Like, do as much research as you can. I mean, you're not gonna know everything before you go to any place. You're gonna learn more once you're there. But you do as much research possible, enough that makes you aware of what district is known for what. That is how you choose your Airbnb or hotel or your different accommodation. In Seoul, in the capital of South Korea, we have Itaewon, which is like the international district, and then we have Gangnam, which is a bit more ritzy, and then we have Hongdae, which is like a lot of university kids. They will party and clubbing there. It's like something is open always all the time. I need to save some of this pizza to use as a prop. Of all the places I've been to, I feel that Singapore has been the safest to walk around at night as a solo female. That's my experience according to year 2015, 2016. Maybe 20 years from now, Singapore won't be as safe. Who knows? Times change. Sometimes traveling alone as a female is safer in one country compared to traveling as a group in another country. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong people, you know, that makes a big difference. You could be at the wrong place, but right time and right people, then okay, your chances are better. Ramen pizza? Oh, fail. I might regret this. Yeah, I actually like it. It's pretty salty though. Woo! After I eat this, I am gonna work out and go to the park and walk. Walk for a good 2 hours. Maybe even go to the gym and do cardio. My favorite machine, ellipticals. It's like eating wet, very soft, wet dough. Hi Mina! I've been binge watching your videos lately. Woohoo! How did you start being a YouTuber and what made you decide on doing this? In a nutshell, I made my first few YouTube videos when I was in college. The reason why I made my first Korean lesson on the Sweet and Tasty TV channel is because there were only like 3 or 4 other Korean lessons on YouTube. So I saw that there was a need. At the time I made the first Korean lesson, I was in college, majoring in architecture. So I was very occupied, and that's why I didn't get to release too many videos, because I was focused in school. And then after I graduated, I was working at an architecture firm, but during that time, I slept even less compared to college. Sometimes I slept at the architecture company. People were requesting for more lessons. So whatever little free time I had, I made more Korean lessons. Sometimes I cut down my sleeping time and used it more of my time for making YouTube videos. I ended up developing insomnia that way. Oftentimes when I was building a 3D model of a city or a building, at the end of the project I would add in people to just kind of show the scale of the building and the rooms and the spaces. And I always think about what kind of relationship these people had in the buildings. I put a guy here, I put a girl over here, and then I put a car here. I would add these objects, but I start thinking, what is their relationship? Are they just purely neighbors, or do they have something going on, but they're keeping it a secret? Like these next door neighbors, they think they're just strangers living next to each other, but they may have a very close mutual friend. So when this lady's mutual friend invites her to their birthday party, it turns out this next door neighbor guy is invited too. So just by adding people into my architecture models, I think of stories like that. And that was an indication to me, oh, maybe the way I think is more filmic, more about like narratives, you know, like storytelling. After 1 year of working architecture, I exited. It was a divorce from architecture. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to use YouTube as a portfolio. So I made a deadline. I was like, okay, every Wednesday I'm gonna release a video. And then one thing led to another, and here I am today. A lot of things have happened since my first Korean lesson, in terms of career, in terms of my personal life. Oh, I'm full. Super full, man. I do want to eat this piece of pork. In some of my previous mukbang, people were asking me, can I eat tofu instead of pork with that dish? I think that was asked by someone who may be Muslim. You could substitute any ingredient for another ingredient. Sure, substituting one ingredient may not be traditional, but if you have a different diet, or it's just by preference, you make your own tradition. Oh, I drink a lot of water. Alright, at this point I'm overeating. By the time this mukbang comes out, I'm gonna be in Korea! Actually, I haven't been to Korea during the summertime in a while, so I'm pretty excited about that. Because usually I've been to Korea so many times for filming purposes especially, so I don't get like super excited. You know, it's like when you go to somewhere for the first time, oh, you get those butterflies in the stomach, like anticipation, like, oh, what's in store for me? Ooh. I'll finish this third slice of pizza. I have a little piece of pork left. When I was a kid, I used to always leave the crust. Oh, I'm gonna get some food coma. I'm starting to feel it already. Hope you guys enjoyed eating ramen that is spicy like a kitten's slap with its cute paw, and eating some pizza. I have to say this pizza was not as guilt-inducing as I was hoping because it wasn't super cheesy, but still it had some cheesy flavor to it, but mostly it's the pepperoni and the tomato sauce. If you have any questions, write them in the comment section below. You just might be featured in the next mukbang. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at Miss Mina O. I'll see you guys in my next travel video and mukbang. Bye bye!